All right, y'all, let's get into the 4 kings. This goes along with the kingdom video, but this will be more clues for us about the next coming president and then the one after that and such, okay? Now, what we are living through is the breakdown of a nation and the buildup of a new nation, okay? And we see this in our own history with the forefathers, okay? They represent the 4 kings, and each one of them is a mirror for the next ones that's coming, okay? Now, George Washington, Trump is the George Washington character. He is the capstone. That's why you had the Georgia, the George AI, the Domino, the Dominion election stuff happen in Georgia, okay? And then you had the first invisible enemy stuff happen in Seattle, the Seattle, okay, the Dragon Tail, and the Washington State for the George and Washington combination. And then George Floyd, his baby mama, was Washington also. And that's all in the ATT video if y'all missed those ones. All my videos go together and they build up. So if you just come in now, you ain't gonna understand nothing, okay? So you got to go back and listen. The 4 kings, Trump, he's the first one, the capstone. He's the father, okay? He's going to have a son. It's Donald John Trump, okay? Black Adam. Dwayne, or however you say his name, John's son. The Black Adam, the Black Sun, okay? He's going to be the second king, all right? He's going to be your Black Rock, your Jesus figure that gives us freedom, all right? And through this freedom, the nation has been all in wraps, okay? And they're not going to know what to do. And before heaven can come and come into fruition, hell has to come first, because you're going from an end of one time to where it burns, and then you're giving birth to a new time, okay? It's the same with like the Indians. All the Indians in Buffalo or whatever, they told us they were all slaughtered and what have you, okay? You either went with the white man's ways or we kill you, right? It's going to be kind of the same thing there, but we're just going to be dividing or fleeing, right? So like the Judea, okay, where we're told to flee, those who are in Judea to flee, okay? It's not all of America, all right? Let me tell you that. The Judea, to me, the way I see it, and when he's taken up and he's at the river, that tells me he's on a river in Louisiana, okay? And he's about 200 miles from Dallas, and he's looking at Dallas, okay? But Texas is where the X marks the spot, and the shit show is going to be in Texas, and that's where like the new temple and all that's going to be built in a sense, because it's going to be like a physical new like White House kind of temple, but it's also they're rebuilding the temple of the mind, because our bodies are the physical temple as far as the believer, okay? And Jesus is rebuilding us right now with a light in our head and giving us the knowledge of earth, okay? It's just the same exact thing replaying from Genesis, except it's in a reverse order, okay? And how you have 2 kingdoms where one is being placed in earth or whatever, they're already there already, then some are being taken into Eden, okay? And Eden is where heaven is, where Jesus resides with us, where the Lord God is. Anyway, these are all just a mirror of all this stuff, y'all. And as time goes on, we can see that these time spectrums, okay, they build up to this time we're going in, but also the Bible will play out again for another 1,000 years, okay? And every probably 500 years, it pinnacles and breaks down and then collapses or whatever, right? So you would have like the buildup of the kingdom of Jesus and truth or whatever at the first, and then at the first 500 years, and then the next 500 years, you'd see the collapse of that. And that's kind of how we saw like the church in all its glory days or whatever. They had the Word of God, the Latin version or whatever. I'm going by what they teach, okay? And the church controlled it, and then all of a sudden the Catholics or whatever, they came in. Or that's kind of like where we're taught at that point, like the Dark Ages or whatever. The Dark Ages were dark because the Catholics took over the church, right? And that's kind of just like how it is today, how we're going to be going into the Dark Ages or the Hell Ages, because the Catholics have taken over the church, and the Catholics are the cat-oholics, okay? The perfect people who think they're right, all right? Anyways, y'all, all these things are just symbolisms that they build on, and the 4 kings are coming. Ron DeSantis will be the 3rd king. Sorry, battery issues. Ron DeSantis will be the 3rd king, and then Eric Trump would be like the 4th king, or maybe another 4th king, and then Ivanka comes as the last Trump, like the 50th, okay? And then also, if Kamala becomes the president, or when Kamala becomes the president, she'll be the 3-in-1, and then the next president would actually be the Rock would be like the 3-in-1 that was voted in. So like the real 3-in-1, right? The other one would be the symbolic 3-in-1, and the other one would be the real 3-in-1, because everything's playing out symbolically and then physically, symbolically then physically, okay? That's how we can see like the strength of the Rock will symbolize the strength of the Ron, okay? Because he lifts the iron, so he's lifting iron. He's lifting Ron up above him as Atlas, right? He's the Atlas that's holding the world on his shoulders, the At-last for end times. Anyways, folks, I also mentioned that Kamala was Hercules with the Rock. Also, y'all remember that Rock, he lived in Texas, and where did he live as a child? He lived in Bethlehem, okay? And also the Rock is the church, ties to the Church of Philadelphia. They've been filling the Dell up right now with all the fees, and that ties to Rocky Balboa. Okay, the Rock has the bow, and his dad's name was Rocky. It had a bow in it also. His dad was a wrestler. Anyways, he's like part of the establishment from way back when, y'all. All right, and Trump, he was part of the WWF. Now Rock, he ties in Idiocracy. All right, and you get the WWF president who just whatever, okay? And then you would have the morons coming on to the thing, because the church and the people who think they're right, they are just baffled at what's going on in the world, but it's not going on in the world, and they're going like morons, 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 as they have the president in office and all these other things, dude. It's going to be so good. And The Rock ties in to the rally where it gets kind of nuts, and the politician or whoever's up there grabs whoever and like throws him down to the ground, and like is the dawn, is like it's the black sun, it's the dark sun, it's the dark dawn, because he's John's son. and he's from the Hawaii with the magma, and all these things, dude. And he's got the tequila, the bitter water with the worm, that wood, and these are just some of the tidbits to clue y'all in on who this man is, okay? But it's going to be fun in the sun. Fun in the sun. Oh, folks. So, like, if you're in Texas, where X marks the spot, all right? Not everyone's going to be fleeing. Not everybody's living in Judea. Not everybody has to go to the mountains, per se, okay? It's certain areas, all right? So that's like, I can still make Cheyenne, or like, hopefully I can make Amarillo by morning or whatever, if the gas holds out, or if the gas stations are open or whatever, okay? So like people in Texas, or maybe parts of Louisiana, or parts of Oklahoma or whatever, y'all may be fleeing, or like the Bible Belt. Like if you're in the Bible Belt, that's like Judea, the Judeo. Anyways, they're worshiping the Jude, and the Jude ties back to the law that man lives under today. Because the law today is a representation of the law back then, and that's why Jesus came to break the law and do away with the law. He's not going to have somebody tell him he can't do things on Sunday. I am the Sabbath. I'm breaking every rule. I'm the truth. I don't need to live by this world. That's what Jesus was telling us. Follow him. Don't set your feet in one city, dude. Just like, don't put your heart in one place. Your heart needs to be with the air, and you just filter through and stuff, okay? But people ain't listening to the air. They're not listening to the spirit that guides this earth. They're listening to the spirit of man through the phone and the D for Don, media, okay? Because you're going into a time right now where it's the Medes versus the Persians. And the Persians are your banks, is your beast system and such, and your Medes is your witches and wizards on TV and stuff, okay? So there's different things going on, because there's two kingdoms going on, but there's also two realities going on, and there's and people are battling each other while they're together, and all different types of little things going on behind the scenes, okay? And the kings are trying to establish where they're going, and all this different stuff, okay? So the Medes and the Persians are those two kingdoms that are going to be divided, okay? And then the third kingdom comes out of that, and that's where the rock is, because the rock is going to come, or the woman. There might be a Moses woman like Michelle Obama or whoever, Oprah Winfrey. They come out of left field and whatever, okay? It doesn't matter. It's the four kings, Biden, and the woman or women that come after Biden are not the kings. So they're not part of this time spectrum. They're just like here to muck it up and to set it up for the rock to come in to do the Federalist replay, okay? So you're going to the Revelation War, the Revolutionary War, the Revelation, okay? And you are going to be going against the redcoats and all these different things, okay? It's just a replay of before. And this third kingdom, it's going to be set up by the rock or the woman or whoever comes in as the third party whenever they decide to do it, 2024 or 2028, okay? But when this happens, that's what's going to so-called divide things, and that's where you'd have like the morons come in. Moron, because they see what happened with the third party and whatever, but there's going to be a third party from now on, and that's where you'd have like hell on earth come take over, because you have the young people voting, and they're just young people. We've all been there, but as you get older, you realize you weren't that smart back then, so your mindset's different. Anyways, we'll end the video here, folks.